Hello and welcome back to the Solo Inter podcast. Joined by me are Manish and Gautam. As always, we are back for another episode. After our last one did very well, Manish. I think you're very elated about it. How are you doing, man?
Yes, I'm doing well. I'm live at San Siro today. I think I reached one day early before the match. Jokes
Yeah,
aside, I think last episode went well, and yeah, good. Good to welcome Gotham back.
yeah. We spoke of Serie A predictions and everything, and we wish Gautam was there too. With mentioning Gautam, how are you, man? How are you doing? Finally back on time for the home game. How are you?
Yeah, man. Missing this podcast is like a pain, but sometimes
Yeah,
work commitments are there and you have to miss it. But
yeah.
like, I'm happy that I'm back.
Yeah, it's ironical. There's stress in life, and then when you come to the podcast, there's stress about Inter too. So yeah. Uh, so moving on, Gautam and Manish, I think let's get into the thick of things. We are here for our very first home game of the 22-23 Serie A season. We host Spezia, of course. There is buzz in the air as there always should be. The tickets on our end are sold out. Spezia have sold around more than 600 away tickets, so the stadium is going to be packed as always. Inter fans, one thing we always know will always fill the stadium out, Manish and Gautam. So I'll start with you, Gautam, since you're coming back. How are you just, what's your emotions and how are you feeling just going into this home game? How do you feel knowing that, Inter is the team to sell out the most season tickets and, there is this buzz around the team that you've signed X number of players, filled certain voids, but also, yes, missed out on some players. So what are your quick thoughts?
I mean, for me, it's not a surprise anymore that we are selling out the season
Yeah,
tickets. It always is, regardless of who the owner is, however we are playing, we always sell it. And that's the loyalty of being an Inter fan. We have
yeah,
been through the Banta era, we have been through lineups with Kuzmanovic, Rocky, Dodo, and now we have a team which is actually competing
yeah,
for the title. Like
yeah,
anytime the season starts, Inter
yeah,
is back on talks when like, okay, these guys are
yeah,
competing for the title.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
atmosphere is going to be electric. I mean, finally, like again, back new season, first home game, it's
yeah,
going to be loud. And
of
we
course.
have, for me, especially like you have Lukaku back, someone who is like a proven goal scorer in
Mm,
Inter, and no matter what the
yeah,
naysayers say, he's a proven goal scorer in
yeah,
EPL as well. I mean,
yeah,
a competitive team with a loud, boisterous crowd.
yeah,
That's what you need.
uh,
I mean, that
y-
brings up the emotion. And
yeah,
it's a negative as well because you are so energetic for 90 minutes. And you know me, every season I say the same thing. Don't get complacent. Don't get complacent. This team is stupid. They get complacent. And
yeah,
when that thing happens, it's so frustrating. But the energy level is going to be for
yeah,
90 plus 5 minutes or seven or
yeah.
whatever it is.
Pazza Inter is a real thing for sure. Like it's all part of that energy, good or bad. Pazza Inter lasts for 90 minutes and more. And I think Gautam, you sum it up the best among the three of us. Probably might have to start a segment on the podcast for you. But moving on to you, Manish. Again, same question. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling going into this game? First home game of the season. How buzzed are you? How pumped are you?
Yes, I think after the last away game it was a real Padza game. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
this game should be a proper game where fans are behind our back. I think Lukaku last game he scored. He scored in his debut versus Lecce, the first
Mhm.
time, as well as his second debut again. He scored against Lecce. So right now with home crowd behind us, and then San Siro, like Gotham said, is going to be fully
Yeah.
packed. I'm expecting a full entertainer, like a full out go enjoy
Mhm.
match,
Mhm.
and I think it's going to be a full attacking show by Inter. I think it's going to be one of the very good open games for us, like in the
Yeah.
sense more attacking, more possession from our side.
Yeah, again, I can't agree more with you guys. I'm just generally buzzed going into this home game because it's again home game is a home game. There's a different feel. We always have great away fans traveling in numbers to away grounds, but the home game completely has a different feel to it. And again, I think this is, as you said, Manish, a good way to start things off. Before we head on and face Lazio away next, I think to have that home game before that is essential. But moving on to the thick of things, again, moving on to uh, us previewing Inter versus Spezia. Let's start with Inter with Gautam and Manish. I'll again address you guys. So let's look at the team news first. Okay, Gautam, I'll start with you. Mkhitaryan is injured. Everyone else is available. D'Ambrosio is back from his injury. So finally, the defensive depth is there, sort of. Again, we still need to sign a centre back. So, but yeah, only Mkhitaryan is injured, and it's expected that Mkhitaryan will be out for 2 to 3 weeks. the hope is to have him for the Derby della Madonnina later on. So yeah, I want to ask you guys as to how you feel about the squad composition again going into this game. Do you feel it's enough to handle Spezia? Do you feel Gautam and Manish that Aslani, because he can play multiple roles, is the one going to fill that Mkhitaryan void temporarily? And yeah, again, Manish and Gautam, how do you think Inzaghi should approach this game? So first, Gautam, you can go, and then Manish, you take over.
I mean, for me, because it's Spezia, I don't think it's much of a loss losing Mkhitaryan to injury. Like you said, Aslani has to fill in the role. He is versatile and he will fill up the role. And here's the thing which I think will happen. For me, I think the first goal will be either from Barella or Hakan.
Wow.
Because the way Spezia played in the first game, it was very open in the midfield. So we are going to control the midfield. Like Brozovic will control the midfield, and Lukaku, Lautaro link up is going to be there. But the first goal, I still believe, will be either from Hakan. I am expecting Hakan will score the first goal. So I think it will be a midfield domination by Inter, and because we have such a strong midfield.
Yeah.
And it's against Spezia, I don't think depth would be that much of an issue. We should be able to control the game, especially because we are at home as well. Like away, it would have been a different issue, but because we are at home, it will be controllable. It will be, the crowd is behind us. So Spezia might get overwhelmed because of the support that we have. And we will be in like fifth gear. We'll be in top gear now because it's our first home game. We would want to give a show to our fans. So that's why I feel like it'll be like total possession and Hakan will score the first goal. And I don't think Mkhitaryan missing this game would have that much of an effect for us.
Okay, moving on to you, Manish. I understand Gautam where he's coming from. He feels the midfield will be clear and he'll dominate, which I can sort of see happening once I talk about Spezia. Manish, I'll come to you and I'll ask you about how do you think Simone Inzaghi should approach this game? Is there anything that needs to be done different from the game against Lecce, which in my opinion was tougher and will be, is already tougher than how the Spezia game we will play tomorrow. So sorry, over the weekend. So what do you make of it, Manish? What are your thoughts on how Inzaghi should go about this game and how worried are you about the Mkhitaryan absence?
See, Mkhitaryan, I'm not a big, to be frank, he's a second half sub anyways. He wouldn't start the game, even though he's fit. I don't think he's going to start. So pretty much we have a first 11 going to be fully fit. That's really important. And I think they're going to start. But I think for this game, most probably Di Marco will come on the bench in the second half for Goossens. So I think this is first game where you see Dumfries and Goossens playing in the wings. And like what Gautam said, the control will be in the midfield. I think more the wing backs. This time you might see a wing back show because Dumfries came on late and he showed his what he can do. And he'll be really pumped up after the last minute goal, So I'm saying there's going to be a Dumfries show tomorrow. And also Goossens is going to play really well on the left flank. This is what I expect. And I don't think Inzaghi should change anything much. Just go with, it's a home game. So I think already, the fans are on the back. The pressure will always be there. So, but yes, I think, like you said, it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be a lot of attacking, a lot of passes. We're going to have a lot of control. This game's slightly easier than the previous game, I feel. But just that, I think you'll be previewing Spezia much better. So I just think they have got Dragowski as a keeper and Caldera as centre back. That's the only two main key points. So Dragowski, always keepers like to play well against us. That's the only I feel drawback is good. Dragowski, as usual, he's a pure Viking, so he's going to give his life and going to try his best to stop everything. But saying that, I think it should be comfortable win for us. We're going to have lots of shots on goal, lots of attacking, and I expect a lot from Goossens. And the second half, I think Aslani and Di Marco will come. And obviously, once the score is like +2 or +3 ahead, they're going to bring in young players and slightly relax for the next Lazio game.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from, Manish. Like I do, as I said, I think I do feel this will be relatively easier than the Lecce game. But firstly, before I get into Spezia, this is the predicted 11 as per Di Marzi on his website. It's still a day too early, but this is his predicted 11. And Handanovic in goal. I'm crying out for Onana, but Handanovic in goal. Skriniar, De Vrij, Bastoni, Dumfries, Barella, Brozovic, Hakan, Gosens, Lautaro, and Lukaku. This is as per Di Marzi. He's usually spot on with his
predicted 11. Strongest 11.
Yeah, exactly. That's our strongest 11 on paper. At least form varies, but yeah. So now, as you guys spoke of Inter, I'll just start quickly with Spezia and how they go about it. We all know who coached them last season, our beloved Thiago Motta. He had to go through a lot of stuff last season. I'll just quickly highlight that, he was just given a squad, a weekend squad, and then he was told that, you have to keep them alive. And just when they were about close to relegation, he managed to get wins at Napoli, Genoa, and AC Milan, and, managed to keep them afloat in the Serie A. But I think they had pretty much made a decision that they would mutually part ways, because Thiago Motta would not play an attacking brand of football per se, but a more reserved but yet fluid brand of football on the counter, because again they didn't have the players for it. The season before that, under Italiano, the current Fiorentina coach, they were the team who are the third best team in the league to win the ball in opponent's half. But under Motta, they were in the bottom half of the same stat. So, and it's not down to Motta, it's because Spezia kept weakening their squad. And this is the case this season yet again. They just lost their captain 2 days ago to Salernitana, Giulio Maggiore. He's been linked with Inter quite often, because he's a very hardworking, versatile, how do I put it, tactical midfielder of sorts. And he's gone to Salernitana, and yet again, Spezia weakened on their squad. All they have done is retain their lone players like Agudelo, and Mbala and Enzola's revival is what they're relying on. If you remember the game where we won 1-3 against them last season, Manish, he was subbed because he couldn't take his earring off. If you guys remember that against Spezia, Thiago Motta got mad at him, and he actually subbed him on, but because he couldn't take his earring off because it wasn't allowed legally, he was subbed back off to the bench. And last season was a low point for Enzola. But what I've heard and read about this season from their new coach, Luca Gotti, he's known to be a defensive coach as he was with Udinese. He's really relying on Mbala's revival, because he's like a physical striker. I don't want to say he's like Lukaku, but if you want a visual imagery of what he's like, he's going to be like Lukaku, basically, sort of trying to do that, play a more physical game. And they also set up in a 3-5-2, but sort of a more compact and reserved 3-5-2. Their key players to highlight quickly, they lost their captain, as I said, but Mbala Enzola was one. Kevin Agudelo, he's more of like he'll again, just to make it things easier for some people who have never watched to understand, he'll give you like Alexis Sanchez vibes, but again, a more raw player. But he'll play in midfield, try to press the likes of Hakan, Brozo, try to make that midfield battle hard. And I don't know, Manish, if you've seen this, Daniele Verde, he's known to score bicycle kick goals in the Serie A. If you watched him against Lazio or Gotham or anyone, he usually tends to score these outrageous goals from outside the box or bicycle kick goals. But a downside for them is that he might not play against us because he's had some fitness issues, because he's the main attacking spark for them. He can just create anything out of nothing. And you just take a shot out from outside the box, and we know if Handa gets rooted, he gets rooted. So he might not play tomorrow. There's still no guarantee. And then they have another key player in Simone Bastoni, who again was a left wing back, again targeted by Inter, once at a point to be a backup left wing back, but plays in midfield to spring deep passes to the front to the likes of Enzola. So what my point is here, that Spezia have a lot of versatile players in midfield, and it ties to what you said, Gautam, in midfield. I think that they will rather give us a tougher battle in midfield, and wings are where we will win the battle over the weekend, because their wing backs and
but I have a feeling Enzola will cause trouble to both De Vrij and Bastoni. I think the goal will come from Enzola, wherein De Vrij can't run back and Bastoni will not be able to cover him, and there will be a goal. And we know Handanovic at goal, it's going to be a goal anyway. So I think,
and I don't rule that out. What I'm trying to say is that when I said he'll give you Lukaku vibes, is not exactly similar, but he tries a lot to rely on his physique in his game. And that is what Gotti is looking for as a coach from preseason comments. And that's how they've played in their 3-5-2. And again, with De Vrij, who's on, struggling to keep his game up. Like against, let's say he was good. He's probably the best defender out there, but you never know. So it is possible Enzola gets a goal. I think the biggest blessing in disguise, and I don't mean it in a bad way because he's injured, but Daniele Verde's absence will hurt them a lot because, again, he just creates something out of nothing. And Simone Bastoni will be that creative player in midfield for them. And I think, as Manish said, tomorrow, over the weekend, wingbacks, I think Gozens, that this game is the game where I think Gozens can shine, because, again, their wingbacks aren't the greatest per se. Gyasi is a hard worker, but again, if you put him, he's not a wingback, he's a winger. So if you ask him to do defensive duties, he's not that great. And Arcadia Shrek on the other side, again, not that great. So I think wingbacks tomorrow have to take the duel, Gotham. And I think they will have a defensive setup just to cap off Spezia. They will play like your very compact version of 3-5-2 from what I saw. And again, just if I want to say if anything is difficult for our strikers tomorrow, I think Lautaro might struggle because again, they have a centre back who's like 6'2", Jakub Kivior, who West Ham wanted actually for 15 million few days ago. He's very technical and he's very physical. I think Lukaku might be able to deal with him and turn him. But I think if he targets Lautaro, it could be a bit of a problem. So that's my take on Spezia. I think we'll win this game. Like I'm not saying, I'm not going to hype up Spezia too much, saying that they're going to cause a lot of problems. I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. And I do have them as one of the relegation candidates for the season. Just because year on year, they've kept on, downgrading on the squad and just not added any new major signings. That's my two.
Just a thing for what you said. Who was the defender you said just now? Who will be covering Lautaro?
Jakub Kivior. He's Polish. He's
so now won't Spezia think? Let us put him on Lukaku.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because Lukaku will turn anyone.
Yeah, Lukaku can. And I think what I've seen from Kivior, he's not the fastest out there, but how he again handles these tough situations in 1v1s is why clubs like West Ham wanted him. Again, a club like West Ham were on the up, making smarter signings. When a club like that wants you, you're doing something right as well, right?
Yes, so, and also I think Caldara is one of the main centre backs.
Yeah, Caldara. Thanks for reminding me, Manish, because
he's going to be very strong. He's the one going to mark Lautaro.
Yeah, and again, just to make it interesting, there will be two AC Milan players in that squad tomorrow: Daniel Maldini and Mattia Caldara. And Maldini is not expected to start, but Caldara will as the right centre back. And what I've read is that he is the one out of the three defenders who will bomb forward, will make an attempt at least. If he's successful
also,
or not, we'll see.
I have one player which I think can cause problem for us, Ekdal in midfield.
Sure, go ahead.
Ekdal, the former Juventus man, Ekdal. It's not very great now, but still, Albin Ekdal has always, when he played against us, he has given his life, But that is going to be
he's one of the protectors in midfield because again he's just come on a free. They lost their captain who was the main protector, so they had to sign him. So again, I don't expect it to be a very tough game as you guys said, but and I do have them as relegation candidates too. So I hope we could give you our audience some justice on Spezia on our end. So moving on, guys, we'll now look at something very interesting. Which is sort of our pre-season Serie A predictions. So it's not sort of a rapid fire, but we'll be addressing certain questions. So I'll start with, I'll obviously start with Manish and Gautam, and then I'll give my thoughts also. So let's get started. Manish, Gautam, are you guys ready?
Yes, ready. Up for it.
Yeah, sure. So let's try to keep it like whatever you guys want to say, feel free to say, okay? It's okay. So let's start. Who do you guys think will win the Scudetto? Just in one word.
Who's going first, Gautam or me?
Gautam, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Who I think is going to win Scudetto is going to be Inter is going to win Scudetto this season.
Gautam.
And get the second star.
Gautam.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be Milan. Okay, I would say Milan.
I'm going with Juventus. Strange feeling that Juventus will bounce back. Nothing else.
None of us are in agreement for the Scudetto winner.
Yeah. Let's keep the justification for later.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Scudetto winner, Manish says, Manish, you were Inter. Gautam was AC Milan, and I'm Juventus. Top scorer for the season. I'll start first. I think Immobile is going to take it again. What about you, Manish?
It's going to be Dusan Vlahovic. His first full season with Juventus.
Yeah, Gautam.
I would go with Immobile as well.
Wow. Yeah, because every season we expect someone or the other to take it, but Immobile
he just like every season he just becomes a top scorer somehow.
Yeah. Manish, most assists for the season.
It's going to be Nicolo Barella.
Barella, wow. He does keep on increasing his numbers, so that's a good shout. Gautam, what about you?
I would say Di Maria.
Di Maria, fair enough. Although he's injured, but that's a very good shout. I'll make a bold claim and I'll go for Paulo Dybala. I don't know why, but I'll make a bold claim and I'll pick him. It's a very bold claim, but most clean sheets. I'll start with you, Gautam. Who do you think which goalkeeper will keep the most clean sheets?
Handanovic.
I knew it was coming with that smile. I knew Handanovic was coming.
No. Yeah. I think it will be Maignan.
Manion. Yeah, I have the same pick. Manion. He's just a phenomenal keeper. His reflexes, his ability to just pull out a save out of nowhere. I think he is phenomenal, and I think he will repeat that feat and win the Golden Glove.
Definitely, and I'm also going with the same choice, Mannion.
Manion. Yeah, I don't see any other keeper being close to him right now. I'm sorry, like
He's in
Patricio
a
makes
completely different level right now.
different
Serie
level.
A,
Yes,
he is.
have to give him credit where it's due. Bold one again, manager of the season. I'll start. I know I said Juventus will win the league, but I haven't said that probably. But yeah, I think if you're winning the league, I think then again I'll give it to Allegri just by default, because if he wins the league, and I'll just justify this quickly, and it's because many people look at this Juventus squad and they get turned off. Juventus fans boo their own team. They say Allegri is playing like an outdated brand of football. But I think despite all that, I just feel that they'll have this moment of turnaround, and it's not like they've lost their first game. They've still won it. I think they'll have this moment of turnaround, and they'll end up winning the league, and Allegri will take this award for me. What about you, Gautam?
I would say Mourinho, because not much is expected of Roma, but we know what Mourinho will do. And with this team, if he finishes top 3, I mean, I had predicted Roma will finish top 2. So if he finishes top 3, I think he'll be the manager of the season.
Yeah. Manish, what about you?
I'm going for Stefano Pioli. Why the manager season? Why? Because I've seen Milan get a lot of injuries, and still he'll bring in some. If the striker is missing, no problem. He'll bring a second striker. Whoever he brings in, they perform.
Yeah.
Also, they had a keeper injury last season. Still, a substitute keeper came on in run. So he's a really good coach with a slightly weaker team than compared to the rest, compared to Roma, compared to Juventus, compared to Inter. So I feel he is the coach, the best coach at the moment. Pioli's on fire.
Point. Yeah. But yeah, just to put it out there quickly, Manish, Pioli does deserve his plaudits, and it's a very good shout as always. We move to Tapiro d'Oro. For certain people, just to explain, Tapiro d'Oro is like a shithousery award. If you just do something bad or something ridiculous, you get an award for that, and you get it publicly. So it has a sense of embarrassment associated with it. In the past, people like Conte have gotten it, people like Papu Gomez have gotten it, and people like Papu Gomez have smashed the award right in front on TV, live TV. So, this is the award. So, Manish, who do you think will get the first Tapiro d'Oro of the season?
Okay, I'm going for a bold move. It's going to be Paul Pogba. It's going to get the Tapiro d'Oro. Why? Because I think when he had his debut with Manchester United, the first 5 games, he had 0 goals, 0 assists, and 5 different hairstyles. So I'm expecting the same for Juventus. And I think before he could have his debut, he got injured for a big, massive 1-2 months. He'll miss out. So for me, he's going to be the flop of the season. Paul Pogba.
Gautam, go ahead.
I would go with Sarri.
Wow. Go ahead.
That's a bold call, but I think he's going to have such a bad September. He's going to get it in September itself.
Wow. No, you know what? I was actually going to say Sarri too before you said it, and I'm not changing it because of that. But there's this.
No, go with a different option.
No.
Please,
yeah, I'm definitely going for a different one. But just to, I was getting this weird feeling about it being Sarri for some reason, because Lazio also, like Inter, is a chaotic club of sorts, even though they made some smart signings and whatnot. But yeah, I think, and I don't think some people will like it because he might sign for us. I think he's going to be Francesco Acerbi. I just have this bad feeling about Acerbi all round.
Oh, our defender.
Future defender, right? And Manish, I know you wanted me to avoid this, but I just have a feeling it's going to be him. And I know some people who know my opinions might think I'm hating on him. That's not the case. I just feel that he's not up to the levels. And Manish, you spoke of his level in the previous video. If anyone wants to check it out, he's done. And I think he's going to, if he starts ever or if he plays any game, if he does come, he's going to have such weird moments. He's going to cost us games. And I just hope he doesn't have any Radu moment. But yeah, I think he's going to, for some reason, if he comes to Inter, he's going to get the Tapiro d'Oro of the first one. And moving on to the final award, best newcomer. I'll start. I think it's going to be Kim Min-jae of Napoli, the centre back. I have been watching this guy for ages, given that I follow a lot of Asian football. I've been watching this guy, and his progress for me has been tremendous. And I feel he's the perfect Koulibaly replacement. And he had a tremendous first game against Hellas Verona. I'm just too big on this guy. And Kim Min-jae is, for me, the best transfer this season across all leagues too. Like, just my personal opinion. And I think Napoli have done good business. So yeah, Kim Min-jae is the best newcomer of the league for me. What about you, Gautam?
I would go for the same. Di Maria for the newcomer. in Serie A, because
Fair enough.
he will be very instrumental, and with Vlahovic, he will
For
have,
sure.
and he has a powerhouse forward for him to work with. He won't be doing it
Yeah.
all alone, and he'll be something like when Ozil was in his prime, or something that Cruz does in Real Madrid. So I think
Yeah.
he will have that effect with Juventus.
For sure. Manish, what do you think? Who do you think will be the best newcomer of this season?
I think the best newcomer will be AC Milan's Charles Di Catlara. I think
Fair enough.
he
Very
is
good point.
a
Very
Milan's
good.
big signing, around 35 million is come for. And Milan normally don't sign these big players. When they sign them,
Yeah.
I think Maldini is a very good scout, and he scouted him well. And I think he will perform really well. He link up well in midfield with also Rafael Leao and stuff. So we can expect big things from him. And he's the next Belgium's big player
Yeah,
after
he
De
is
Bruyne, they
definitely.
say. He's a future De Bruyne, they say. So I expect big things from him. And I think he's going to have a very good season.
Yeah,
That's my best
I
newcomer
don't,
award.
I can't. It's hard to disagree with either of your picks, honestly, because for just to quickly cap off, Di Maria has only signed a 1-year deal, so I think he has a lot to prove even in that one season, and he's going to be essential. And Manish, as you said, De Ketelaere is one of the highly rated talents, and he has what it takes to be very essential to Pioli's system. So, guys, those were our thoughts on the pre-season awards. Feel free to list them down in the comments below. Who do you think will fit well in each category? And to cap this video of Gautam and Manish, as always, I want to get your score predictions for the first home game of the season. So I'll start with you, Gautam. What do you think will happen, and what do you think is the score line?
I'm
For the
going
game.
to go on a very, very bold prediction here. I'm going to
7-1.
say 5-1 to Inter.
5-1.
Oh,
Okay, fair enough. I see, again, this is an open platform, so it's all fine. Do you have any reason for it, or just leaving it at that?
No, because I've seen like the defense and midfield of Spezia isn't that robust. Even though they're coming to Inter, I don't think they'll be able to handle our midfield and combination of Lula up front. So I think initially we'll go. I think we'll be 3-0 up by halftime, and they'll get a goal back, and we'll score 2 more. I think D'Ambrosio might score one just for fun.
Yeah.
Or you never know. These matches are the matches where Gagliardini scores a crazy goal.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding this just before I get to Manish. Gagliardini does score freely against teams from Liguria. So Spezia does come from that region. So, you never know, might just come off the bench, pop one volley in, and we have our player, Sir Roberto Gagliardini. So, Manish, what do you think is happening in this match? Do we get
I think
Sir Roberto Gagliardini scoring
we
a
should make
hat-trick?
Gagliardini the captain, I think, for this match, because
Yeah.
this region, he always screws their case. Okay, so what I'm expecting similar lines, Gotham, I expect a high scoring match, and Inter's going to win it 4-1 or 5-1, like Gotham said. It's not always I'm being negative about Inter. It's just that certain games I have this bad vibe. But definitely tomorrow, I think Inter going to steal the show. A lot of attacking football. Our wing backs are going to kill it tomorrow. And I'm expecting a big show from Gusens. Either he'll come into the far post with his head or with his left-footed volley. And yes, and also we'll see Aslani tomorrow coming in second half. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. It's going to be a big rout. Also Lukaku's first home game return. So I'm interested to see the fans' reaction towards Lukaku. Will they be booing him? Will they be cheering him? What, we don't know. But happy to have Lukaku back, and good to see the Lula partnership for tomorrow.
Yeah. And I think, I can't really disagree with you guys. Like, again, no disrespect to Spezia or any other team. We are the ones who usually love to hype our league up because we have to also. We need to make people aware of the league. But I think we will win 3-1 or 4-1. So one of the two. Again, because I think the wingback battle is key tomorrow. And I think Gosens, for me, is the one who can have a great game tomorrow. He can finally come into his own, finally get that physical condition going, finally find his feet and start a season on a good note. And I feel, again, I think if anything had to be tricky tomorrow, I think it will be a bit in the midfield because, again, as Manish said, they do have Albin Ekdal. They do have, Albin Ekdal has been that tricky defensive midfield player. Then you have Simone Bastoni there too, and Agudelo, who's good at pressing. So I think if anything, Spezia will cause problems there. And again, I think Lukaku will give if he does end up somehow going up against Caldara, he will give Caldara a hard time, I feel. There again, I did say they have Kivior in the back line, but if Lukaku is on his day, he will give him a hard time too. And yeah, I think what we tend to miss out is that Lautaro Dzeko never had that link up before, but Lautaro and Lukaku do have that link up. So I think again that will also come into play. So yeah, 4-1 or 3-1 with Lukaku definitely getting on the score sheet for me. Again, I want to make some bold claims because I don't do so. And I feel, I don't know, one defender is scoring tomorrow. I just don't know why. I feel Skriniar scores a header for some reason tomorrow.
And let's hope tomorrow Dragowski doesn't get the man of the match award.
Yeah,
that's the only hope.
yeah,
As long as that doesn't happen, it's well and good.
And the thing is, guys, let's not forget that Dragowski had a huge dip in form, and that is why he is at Spezia. But he has a point to prove. He wants to, get his mojo back. So yeah, guys, those are our predictions. We expect, I think, to win by a big scoreline. Any final take, Gautam and Manish, before we cap this video off?
For me, I am thinking like two bold predictions. One was the 5-1. The other thing is Hakan is going to score the first goal. And I would also say Spezia is going to get a red card tomorrow.
Wow. I like that, Gautam.
I'm just going all out this week.
Yeah, fair enough. No, we need this. We need this. And yeah, and the thing is, Manish, do you have anything to say? Sorry.
No, I just like he said, my prediction would be Goosen's going to be the star of the show. He had a very bad first match, to be frank. He had one of the poor performances. Yeah. I rated him very poorly, along with Hakan. So I think he has point to prove, and this is his right stage. I hope he kills it tomorrow.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it. And just before we go, I'll just give the predicted lineup pointer once again, just so that people are on the same page. It's Handanovic in goal, Skriniar, De Vrij, Bastoni, Dumfries, Barella, Brozovic, Hakan, Lautaro, and Lukaku. That's it. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning into the episode. This is a preview for Spezia. Inter Spezia. Do let us know what do you think will the scoreline be. Who do you think will score? Feel free to make bold claims about the preseason predictions we made. If you disagree with us, let us know. If you agree with us, let us know. But do leave your preseason predictions down in the comments as well. We liked the interaction on the previous video where everyone was, giving their top 4 predictions and making their opinions known. So please do keep that up. It helps us grow. And please do leave a like. Please do subscribe to the channel and share the video. And as always, sempre Forza Inter.
Forza Inter, guys.